Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, U.S. Immigration. We hope you're doing great. Well, in today's video, we will be talking about 2025 Immigration Update, Dignity Act, Trump's enforcement bill, local pushback, and legal showdowns. If you are interested in this, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. Immigration reform in the United States continues to evolve amid intense political debate, sweeping federal legislation and localized responses. From bipartisan bills in Congress to aggressive enforcement laws signed by President Donald Trump, immigration remains a central and often contentious issue in the nation's political and social landscape. Here's a comprehensive breakdown of the most significant developments in 2025. The Dignity Act of 2025, a bipartisan proposal. One of the most promising signs of bipartisan cooperation this year has been the introduction of the Dignity Act of 2025, unveiled in July by Republican Representative Maria Alva Salazar and Democratic Representative Veronica Escobar. The legislation aims to strike a delicate balance between enhanced border security and creating opportunities for undocumented immigrants. A cornerstone of the Dignity Act is its DREAM Act provision, which offers conditional permanent residency to nearly 2.5 million Dreamers, young immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. Eligibility requires living in the country since January 2021, passing criminal background checks, and meeting educational or employment criteria. After a decade of consistent contributions through work, military service, or higher education, participants could transition to full lawful permanent residency. The bill also establishes a Dignity Program, granting a 7-year deferred action status to immigrants present since December 2020. Participants must pay a $7,000 fine in installments, settle back taxes, and maintain employment or education. While this status allows work and travel authorization, it does not directly lead to citizenship. The act also strengthens border infrastructure, expands asylum processing, and addresses visa backlogs. Despite its bipartisan support, passage remains uncertain due to political divides in Congress. The Big Beautiful Bill, Trump's enforcement law. On July 4, 2025, President Trump signed into law the Big Beautiful Bill, one of the most aggressive immigration enforcement measures in recent history. The law allocates $47 billion for wall construction, $7 billion to recruit additional CBP agents, and $6.2 billion to enhance surveillance technologies. It also expands detention facilities with $45 billion in new funding, enabling extended family detentions and potentially reinstating the controversial Remain in Mexico policy. The bill dramatically increases immigration-related fees, setting asylum applications at $100 and unauthorized crossing penalties at $5,000. Additionally, it imposes eligibility restrictions on federal programs, such as Medicaid and SNAP, effective 2026, and requires that at least one parent hold a valid Social Security number to qualify for tax credits like the child tax credit. Critics warn these measures could disproportionately harm immigrant families, while supporters emphasize their role in strengthening national security. Local pushback, San Diego County. Unexpectedly, local governments are increasingly resisting federal enforcement policies. In Encinitas, community outrage over ICE arrests near schools prompted the city council to launch a Know Your Rights campaign, designate safe zones, and explore restrictions on masked ICE agents. Meanwhile, Escondido's council pursued systemic reforms, sending a bipartisan letter to Congress advocating clearer pathways to citizenship, expanded guest worker programs, and more resources for immigration courts. These initiatives highlight a growing trend. Immigration concerns are now transcending party lines at the local level, balancing immediate community protections with long-term policy reforms. The new Democrat coalition's immigration plan. On 2025, the new Democrat coalition unveiled a plan combining stricter border enforcement with humanitarian pathways. The strategy includes expanding border technology, prioritizing deportation of criminals, increasing immigration judges to reduce asylum backlogs, and supporting Dreamers, farm workers, and in-country asylum processing in Latin America. By offering economic aid at the source, the coalition hopes to reduce migration pressures while appealing to voters concerned with both security and human rights ahead of the 2026 midterms. Legal developments. Trump faces setback. A federal appeals court recently blocked former President Trump's attempt to use the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport Venezuelan migrants allegedly linked to the criminal gang Trenda. In a 2-1 ruling, the Fifth Circuit determined the law's conditions were unmet, ruling unauthorized migration cannot be equated with armed invasion by a foreign power. Immigration advocates hailed the decision as a vital check on presidential overreach, while Trump allies decried it as a limitation on national security authority. A war on fraud USCIS and to train special armed agents with powers to arrest applicants and lawyer. In a startling policy development, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has announced that it will begin training armed special agents with full authority to investigate, arrest, and prosecute immigration-related violations. The video represents a dramatic expansion of the agency's traditional role, which has historically focused on processing visas, green cards, and other immigration benefits. The final rule, published on September 5th in the Federal Register, officially designates certain USCIS officers as 1811 special agents, granting them the authority to carry firearms, execute warrants, and undertake criminal investigations. Previously, such enforcement responsibilities were firmly within the purview of Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Customs and Border Protection. The rule is set to take effect 30 days after its publication, signaling a rapid transformation of USCIS's mission. Critics have raised alarm over what they view as a fundamental shift from a benefits-oriented agency to a law enforcement body. According to reports, the new special agents will be empowered to look for fraud in immigration applications and arrest the immigrant in question, or the lawyers who help prepare their petitions. The American Immigration Lawyers Association has expressed sharp criticism. Jeff Joseph, AILA president, said, "The Trump administration has transformed USCIS into an enforcement agency, weaponizing the immigration system against families, asylum seekers, and businesses. What's worse, this rule states they now plan to arm potentially hundreds of agents at USCIS." Joseph emphasized that Congress originally created USCIS after September 11 to process legal immigration applications, deliberately leaving enforcement to other agencies to ensure immigrants could safely submit personal information and attend interviews. This administration's attacks on those following the legal channels will only push people further into the shadows, he warned, highlighting concerns over the potential chilling effect on lawful immigration. Administration officials defend the change as necessary to combat fraud and protect national security. Under the new rule, USCIS special agents may initiate criminal investigations, make arrests, execute search and arrest warrants, and, under certain circumstances, use deadly force. USCIS Director Joseph B. Edlow called it a historic moment for the agency, asserting that the move strengthens the integrity of the immigration system, holds fraudsters accountable, and acts as a force multiplier for the Department of Homeland Security and federal law enforcement partners. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care